Okay, so today we're looking at the Water Safety Award. So this isn't a standalone stage in our Learn to Swim scheme, but it is an award. So it will be on one of those drop-down boxes at the side in our online system. But this is probably, once the children are competent at stage 4 and can swim, this is probably one of the most important lessons we're going to teach. I would normally spread this over 2 lessons or 2 or 3 because there is a lot of information for them to take in and retain. So it's really good maybe to break it down into 2 parts and then maybe repeat it again later in the stage just to check that they've remembered it. So it says, number 1, know the water safety code and answer 3 questions. So in your printout, you've all got this. I'm sorry, mine's got a bit wet, so it's a bit blurred at the top. But again, if anybody needs these reprinting and laminating, please tell me, I'll do it for you. So here is the water safety code. This one is the Royal Life Saving Society. STA have one and Swim England have one. They are the same. They all mean the same thing. It might just be worded slightly differently. So this one says, stop and think. So it's making sure you take time to look around, look for signs and advice, check for dangers. Stay together, so always go with somebody. Don't be going down to the water's edge on your own. Don't be swimming anywhere on your own. Make sure you're always with someone so that there's someone else to go get help if needed or help you if needs be. In an emergency, call 999. And I always talk about 112 as well, which is very useful from a mobile phone. They can usually track your whereabouts with 112 or 999. And just make sure the kids know 999. You can tell them if they've got a phone, they can do it. You can tell them to ask an adult to phone 999 or go tell an adult they need to call 999. And if it's a water incident, you need to be asking for the Coast Guard. I think it says that on here. Yeah, it does. So ask for the Coast Guard, or if it's inland, you're not at the beach or at the coast, then it is the fire and rescue. And then they need to know that if they fall in, they should float, okay? We're talking about cold water shock there. So the best advice is if you fall into cold water, you need to float for a period of time to relax yourself, get your breath, and make sure that your body and your muscles are used to the temperature of the water. Once you feel calm and relaxed, then you can sit up and swim to the side, okay? So this will come into the lesson. We're going to practice it. So they should know this water safety code and they should be able to answer some questions on it. Number 2, describe areas of outdoor water. So we're going to talk to them about it. Ask them if they know any areas of outdoor water. You can also use these laminated sheets, which I'm going to make sure there is a pack at each pool, okay? So what I've done is I've put the name of the area of water at the top. So this one says river, I can't read on the camera. This one says ocean and sea, okay? I've done a little picture as well so the kids have got a visual. And then at the bottom here, it gives you a list of the possible dangers and it also gives you some advice what to do, okay? So there's lots of topics here, lots of discussion points, things you can talk about with your children. And what I like to do is pop these on the floats. So we've got river on there, pop one on there, and so on. So we're going to have one on each float. There's 4 of them. Reservoir, and you've got canal, okay? So you'd have one on each float. We're going to instruct the children to swim out and push a float back to the side, and then you can all discuss that area of water. Send another child out, let them push a float back. If you've got 6 kids in your lesson and you've got 4 areas of water, I'd put 2 floats in with nothing on, and then they all get a turn pushing something back, and they can choose what they want to push back. If they bring a float with nothing on, they can have a question about the water safety code, okay? So just throw a question out there. What number would you call if you needed help? 999, okay? So that's one idea. It just makes it interactive and they're not just stood listening to you or stood answering questions. They can actually swim and get something. We can chat about it. They can swim out and get something else. Rather than going one at a time, you could say, everybody swim out to the floats and Jack, you're going to bring one back. Next time, everybody swim out to the floats. Katie, you're going to bring one back, okay? So you're only bringing one back at a time, but everybody's getting a swim. Okay. Next objective. Know why it's important to keep your head out of the water, okay? This is really important. They need to know this. So there's lots of reasons. First one, the most important, is to keep your head warm, okay? Once your head gets wet, you feel cold. So most of the time, we're going to try and keep their head above the water. Obviously, when they've fallen in and they're doing the floating, it's easier with their head in. But from then on, we're going to swim head up, breaststroke to the side, okay? Also need to keep your head up so that you can see and you can be seen. Okay, so we're going to stay at the top of the water for those reasons. We can tread water with the help. That's a good way to be seen. And you can swim back with your head up using breaststroke. Another reason, the water is dirty. Okay, outside water, we need to make them aware, is cold and it is dirty. It's not like a swimming pool. It is not warm and clean. So we don't want to be putting our face in or our head under the water for those reasons as well. So it's to keep you as warm as possible, to make sure you can see and be seen because the water is dirty, and also so that you can breathe easily. If your head is above the water, you can breathe normally. If your head is in, you're going to have to be blowing bubbles coming back up or holding your breath coming back up. Number 4, learn about water safety signs and flags. Okay, so again, these laminated cards that I'm going to put each pool on the back of the areas of water, you have got flags, okay? So what I would do to teach this is maybe play a game. So we're going to have to tell them what these flags mean first of all. So flags at the beach. A red one means do not swim, danger. Red and yellow means lifeguard. It's typically the colours a lifeguard would wear. So if there is a lifeguard at the beach and this flag is flying, it's safe to swim between these two flags. It means a lifeguard is watching you, okay? This one, orange sock. This is telling you about the wind, okay? You can ask your children, why would you need to know about the wind? You might need to know about the wind if you're going to take an inflatable into the sea. I would not be taking an inflatable in if the windsock was like this. If it was dangling down, perhaps, okay? But we also need to chat about inflatables and make them mindful that when you're sat in an inflatable, the tide, the current can take you, also the wind can take you, okay? So it's ideal you need to be in with an adult or have the inflatable on a rope so your adult can keep hold of you. This one is boating area. So where there are black and white flags, it means that is for boats. It is not for swimmers. So we would not swim here. This is where your boats, your surfers, all those sorts of things are, okay? So I would get all of the swimmers on a woggle and I would say, if I show you the windsock, you need to spin around. It's windy. Woo! Spin around in the wind. If I show you the red and yellow flag, you can swim. So they're just going to swim on their woggle. They can scoop and kick, they can do breaststroke, depends what they want to do, what level they're at. See the red flag, stop. This means no, don't swim. So they're going to freeze on the woggle, on the spot, okay? If you show them this one, I want them to turn their woggle into a boat so that they remember this means boating area. So they're going to take it from under their arms, push it forward. They're going to swim around like a boat, okay? Kick, 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 kick with the woggle in front, okay? That's a good way to teach those flags, okay? We also need to talk about being safe at the beach. So I usually mention to my children that you need to look where your base is. Because I don't know about you guys, but you know when you stood in you can just be stood in the sea, you're not swimming, you're just talking to somebody on holiday, turn around and look back and you are down the beach, okay? It happens. Excuse me. So what they need to do is look for something, look for a certain coloured umbrella, look for a bar or a restaurant at the back, the name of it, so that they can always get back to their base, get back to their family, okay? Also tell them that in the sea, they need to be swimming horizontal to the beach. We do not swim out and back, okay? We don't want to be swimming out far, we want to be swimming across, okay? Tell them to look out for rip tides. This is where you see 2 track lines at the beach and a wavy bit in between, okay? That's generally where the water is getting pulled out underneath faster. If you get stuck in one of those, you get dragged out, okay? So we need to be looking for calm areas, shallow areas, swim next to the beach where you can stand up, you're not going far out. Make sure you've got that marker. Make sure you always go with someone else. You don't go on your own, okay? So we're moving on a little bit now to their skills in the water, less information. So they should be able to swim 10 metres, so that's a length at whatever pool you are at, in clothing with their head out of the water. So for these lessons, they need to bring pyjamas. For their first attempt, I would say t-shirt and shorts. And then if you do it again towards the end of the stage and they're getting stronger and more confident, they can wear long sleeves and trousers. Make sure it's not jeans though and not thick. So, you know, like the fluffy pyjamas people have or jogging bottoms, just something thin, okay? And if they ask you why they're swimming in clothing, that is because when they're out and about, if they happen to fall in somewhere, they're not going to have their swimming costume, their goggles on ready. They're going to be in clothes, okay? So for these lessons, no goggles. Then they need to be able to jump in, float on their back for 10 seconds, turn, return to the side they jumped in at and climb out, okay? That's for water safety. Now, we've already visited that in stage 3. So they should be able to do the skill. We're just doing it now with the clothes on, okay? Tread water for 30 seconds, wave for help. So in their clothing, they need to be able to tread water and wave for help. No shouting, wastes energy, and a wave is easier to see. Obviously, if someone then comes to the side and they're looking, they can shout, help, I need help. But we don't just wail help from the beginning, reserve your energy. Safely rescue a friend using a reach or a throw rescue. So for this activity, I get them into pairs. We talk about if somebody is in trouble in the water, go and get an adult, make sure 999 is called first. When you come back, you can find something to reach or throw to them. Obviously, if they're quite close to the edge, you can reach them. If they're further away, you might need to throw something. So I get them to give me ideas, see what they can come up with, and then I offer some as well. So it could be your t-shirt. You could take your t-shirt off and pass it out to them. It could be an umbrella. It could be a walking stick. It could be a picnic blanket. It could be a fishing rod, okay? So anything that you can hold and reach out. It could be a branch, all right? Then I talk to them about making sure they lay down. So what we don't want to do is stand up and lean over the pool, because as soon as they hold on to that piece of equipment, you're going in, okay? So we lay down flat on the pool side or the water's edge, wherever they are. Then I talk to them about clear instructions, because let's not forget, this person is panicking. They're going under the water. They've got water in their ears. They've got water in their eyes. So actually, as a rescuer, you have to be in control and you have to speak loud and clear and tell them what to do. So I say, keep your head up, look at me, hold on to this with 2 hands. I'm going to pull you in, and then we pull them to the side, okay? Make sure you tell the children to instruct the casualty how to climb out. They all know how to climb out already. Elbows on, tummy on, knee on, and climb up on the side. Don't allow them to help them. 1, they might hurt themselves. 2, they might fall in with them, okay? We're then going to get them to sit them away from the edge and calm them down and wait for the fire brigade or the ambulance, whoever, to come and help, okay? If they are further away and they need to throw something, I talk about empty bottles, a football, if you've got a football. Talk about the orange buoys. So the orange circles that are around most of our inland water, they can take one of those off the hook and they can throw one. They are brilliant because they usually have a rope attached. So if you throw it and you miss, you can pull it back in and go again. If you throw it to them and they can float on it, then you can pull them in by the rope, okay? So for this one, they don't need to lay down, they can stand and throw. If they're going to pull a rope, I would maybe then kneel down just so that they're low to the ground and they're not getting pulled in. And again, loud, clear instructions. Tell them how to get to the side, instruct them how to climb out, sit them facing away and away from the edge, and wait for help to arrive. Always make sure you have told them they need their adult on the way first. So don't start rescuing somebody unless you've got other help on its way, 999 or an adult to help you, okay? Because if you both end up in the water, then we've got a problem. Perform the huddle position using aid. So there's 2 life-saving positions in the water. One is a help and one is a huddle. I haven't put the help position on the objectives. However, I do teach it. So I'll show you that now. So this is thinking about when you go into the water, maybe with a life jacket, for example. So it could be on a boat trip, on an aeroplane, helicopter. For some reason, you need to get off these modes of transport and into the water, okay? So you would have a life jacket on. Now, for the children, I usually pretend the float is a life jacket, so they're holding their life jacket on. Or if they're not quite as confident, they can have the woggle. So this is their life jacket, okay? So I'm going to show you the help position. Just check you can see my legs under the water. So for the help position, they need to bend their knees and squeeze their legs together. They can squeeze them or they can cross them, whichever. We'll just turn this way so you can see I'm in a seated position, look like I'm on a chair, okay? So knees are bent, legs are together. They then need to squeeze. Just do it with a woggle is a bit difficult, it's easier with a float. Squeeze their arms in, okay? So I normally tell them to tuck their fingertips under their armpits, but it's a bit hard with the woggle, so I'm just going to pop them here. So your legs are crossed, your arms are crossed, and you're in a tucked position. Now when I teach this, I would usually say to the children, stay still for a minute. And we can count a minute together, or you can put a timer on, you can look at the clock. Okay, keep squeezing your legs and your arms together. After the minute, I ask them to open up like a star shape. What usually happens is they get warm between the legs and under their arms, and when they come out into the star, they feel cold. At that point, you can talk about what's good about the help position. So they're keeping everything squeezed in, they're keeping everything close to try and stay warm in the water, okay? We're also reserving energy because we're not treading water. So from here, they open up, they feel that cold, they might make a noise, and you can talk about the help position is to keep yourself warm. It stands for heat escape lessening position. We don't necessarily have to teach them that, just tell them help, but that's what it stands for. So we're trying to lessen the amount of heat that we're losing by staying tucked up and closed in, okay? Now the huddle is basically the help position, but in a group, okay? And I talk to the children about the group situation is good because you are with other people, you can share heat, and you're going to be found easier, okay? So the helicopter, the rescue helicopter, the rescue boat is going to be able to see a group of people in a circle rather than just one on their own, okay? And everybody stays safe, everybody stays together. So everybody gets into a circle, so we've got all the children in a circle, they all get into the help position. Once they're ready, they're going to take one arm and put it round the person next to them. So everybody is linked so I'm using my left arm. Everybody is linked by their left arm, so we're all attached, okay? That's important so nobody gets swept away, okay? Or if somebody is feeling a bit poorly or they slip out of their life jacket, someone's got hold of them, okay? Then we're going to take it in turns to wave. So one person lifts their left arm, they can let go of their person, wave. They put their hand down, the next one waves, and we go all the way around the circle, okay? Once everybody's had a chance at waving, I usually say, the lifeboat is here, swim to the lifeboat and climb out. And we can all let go of the circle, swim to the boat and climb onto the side, okay? Next. Remove clothing independently. So they don't have to do this in the water. This is just once they get out, okay? Now I would usually tell them the easiest way to do it is to cross your arms over, grab hold of the bottom of your shirt and pull it up and over. Use your elbows to keep it pushed out, and then you bring your head through all the way up, okay? If you start doing this and taking an arm out of the sleeve, they get their arms stuck. So cross over, hold the bottom, take it up and over your head, use your elbows to push it away, take your head out, pull it all the way up and off, okay? Trousers and shorts are a little bit easier. I've also got this laminated, which is a lesson plan for floating on your back, treading water, shout and signal rescue, and the throwing rescue. So there's 4 activities on here. So I'll print and laminate these as well, so you have a full pack at the pool. If you've got any questions about these lessons or any other ideas, then please pop it in the group.